Hey, Tburrier from Tburrier.com. If you struggle with anxiety, maybe this will help you. And I'm going to give you my recipe for dealing with anxiety. I've been blessed with it my whole life. I say that obviously tongue in cheek. I know what it feels like, right? I know how it feels to have like your whole stomach is up in your neck, right? I mean, it's just the strangest. People that don't struggle with anxiety, they can't relate to it. They don't understand it. But I get it because I've had to wrestle with it my entire life. And personally, I don't want to take medication for it. And so I've never used meds. And I'm not saying it's wrong to use meds. It's not my place to judge anyone else's choices with how they manage it. It's your life. It's your journey. You got to do what you think is best for you. I just don't like the concept of drugs from a long-term perspective, because I know that when you're forcing your body to do something it's not willing to do on its own, then it's going to do something else. I also know that medication interacts with nutrient absorption, which causes other problems, and because everything in your body runs on nutrients. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my formula for managing anxiety, and hopefully this will help you. Bottom line is you're not going to cure it. If you got it, you got it. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, people say, you hear some people say, hey, that's a lack of faith. No, it's not. It's just an emotional, physical thing. It's something you deal with. And so first is have routines, right? So I'm very conscious of having routines because they help get me centered. And so, in my book, 3 Circles Living, I talk about self-care as the #1 priority in your life. That's got to be #1. And I know sometimes people struggle with that, right? Christians struggle with that because it's supposed to be God first. Well, God's over and above that from a Christian perspective. And in a practical sense, other people say, well, what about your family? What about the people you love? I get it, but you got to take care of you in order to show up for them. And so if you're not healthy, if you're not well, you're not good to anybody, bottom line. And so first thing you've got to do from a mindset perspective is take care of yourself. And if you struggle with anxiety, this is part of that. And so in that flow, so to speak, there's two pieces to that. So one is the physical component and the other is the emotional or mental component, right? Because self-care is physical, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's intellectual, right? You could probably put some other O's in there if you'd like. But, and so part of my centering, because I don't know how I'm going to wake up. Not only do I have anxiety, I also have some mild depression issues, right? So, I chemically, it's half the days at least, I wake up as Eeyore, right? Eeyore from Pooh, or as opposed to Tigger, right? We want to wake up as Tigger, but that's just, that ain't the recipe. More days than not, I'm not Tigger when I wake up, but I can get centered so that I show up the same way for the people I care about and the things that I do, and this will help you. So, I start my day with getting centered. So my routines are some quiet time where I do my personal spiritual journey and a little bit of journaling, but it's just a quiet, peaceful time with no interaction with anybody else. That's the first thing. And then I make sure I put good nutrients in my body. Often, anxiety is related to nutrients. I'll check that. I'll come back to that in just a minute. But I make sure I nourish myself well. And then I work out. I exercise every single morning. Except for Sundays, I take 1 day a week off for rest. For years, I didn't. But physically, you have to. So I learned that you have to. And so I do get 1 day of total physical. No, that's not true. I don't purposely work out. I end up kayaking or fishing or doing something active. But anyway, you know what I mean? Part of the routine 6 days a week is the workout. And then there's personal development and intellectual investment. So I'm working on myself and using affirmations and affirmations and really centering myself every single day so that I show up. So that's the first thing is a routine. And for me, it's morning because the day's in front of me. And so have a routine where you're taking care of yourself. That also shows you that you're worth it. And you get a little bit, you're able to calm it down a little bit and go, you know what? Hey, everything is okay. Everything is okay, even if I feel wacky. It really is okay, right? It's getting past the emotional piece into the logic sense. And then next is serve. Now, my entire business life is focused on helping others first. My supplement business is about helping others first because of the way it's modeled and because of my belief system. And then my coaching and training businesses are all around serving others first, right? Because I believe that's how it should work. I believe that your value is based on the value you give. And I believe that the way that you make your hay is, Simon Sinek says in his new book, The Infinite Game, do good making money, right? That's so you can serve both in your work, or if the nature of your work isn't such where you really can feel that, right? Like mine, I get to feel it all the time as people express to me how their life has changed and how things are better. And, that's awesome. It feels good, right? So that helps. But also I serve in other ways. I give my resources, my time, or my abilities, right, or financially to causes, right, to people who are, struggling or less fortunate or in time of need. There's so many opportunities to serve. And here's the key to that. When you serve, right, you're totally focused on outside of yourself. When you're not focused on yourself, you don't notice the anxiety, right? It goes away. As a matter of fact, when you can fill yourself up and feel so good that it doesn't even affect you. So serving is another major component of how do you manage it without drugs. And then the third thing, and I mentioned, was nutrients. So like magnesium, for example, is a significant nutrient that a lot of people don't get nearly enough of in their diet. And it is one of the main nutrients, that along with some B vitamins. And the reason the B vitamins issue exists is because magnesium is involved in the hormones and enzymes, etc., that help the B vitamins happen. I don't know all the science because that's not important. I know the gist. And so magnesium is what your body uses to relax. So if you think about this, calcium's how you make a muscle, right? It's contracting the muscle, and then relaxing the muscle is magnesium. And so like when people have leg cramps, often it's because they don't have enough magnesium. And so the muscle can't relax. It seizes and it can't relax. But that whole concept goes through your whole body, right? So if you're having trouble relaxing, sometimes you're just deficient. And so you got to make sure you're getting all your platform baseline vitamins and minerals. You're getting all the nutrients your body needs, and you're not going to get it from food. A, there's just too much toxicity you're exposed to, and your body is doing the best it can to fight that with the minimal nutrients that you have. And B, the food supply is not full of nutrients, right? Processed food is full of calories, but not many nutrients that your body needs. And even, fresh foods, because of the toxicity in the environment, they don't have nearly the nutrients that they used to have. So that's a whole nother topic. But make sure you are getting additional supplementation of the right nutrients in addition to eating well, and that will help you significantly. So those are the things that I personally do to help manage it. It doesn't make it go away, all right? Bottom line, it's not going to go away, but you can manage it, and you can function and be effective and mitigate the impact of it greatly. So I hope that was helpful for you. You can, I suggest you get the book 3 Circles Living. There's a link right below me. You can also shoot me an email if you have a question about anything, and I'm happy to respond. All right, my email is below. Take care.